The first thing everyone noticed about Elena Morris was her dress. It was cheap, not ugly, not dirty, just cheap. The black fabric had been washed too many times. The sleeves had lost their shape. The hem rested a little too high on her calves because Elena had bought the dress 3 years earlier, when she weighed less and still believed that one day she would fit into it again. She never did. So she wore it anyway. Every morning at 7:45, Elena stood behind window 4 at Harrington Crown Bank, smiled at strangers, counted their money, printed their receipts, and pretended not to hear the laughter behind her. The executives laughed the loudest. They always did. "Look at her," Martin Vale whispered one morning. Martin was the bank's chief financial officer, 48 years old, silver hair, perfect suit, gold watch. He stood near the executive elevators with 3 senior managers, all of them holding expensive coffee cups and discussing a private dinner they had attended the night before. Martin glanced toward the teller line. Elena was helping an elderly woman deposit a small amount of cash. "She looks like she shops at a funeral home," one of the managers said. The others laughed. Elena heard them. She always heard them. She simply kept counting. 200, she told the elderly woman. "And 50. The woman nodded. "Thank you, sweetheart." Elena smiled. "You're welcome." Behind her smile, something inside her tightened. She had learned long ago that people did not always insult you because they hated you. Sometimes they insulted you because they had already decided you were invisible. And invisible people were safe to mock, safe to ignore, safe to blame. Elena knew exactly how invisible she was. She had been working at Harrington Crown for 6 years. 6 years of watching men in expensive suits walk past her without learning her name. 6 years of watching executives step over problems because they assumed someone else would handle them. 6 years of hearing the same jokes about her body. The jokes changed. The cruelty did not. She had become very good at pretending she did not care. That was why nobody noticed when she looked toward the executive elevators. That was why nobody noticed the tiny crease that appeared between her eyebrows. Because Elena was not looking at Martin Vale. She was looking at the folder in his hand. A blue folder. A folder she had seen before, 3 days earlier. She remembered the number printed on the corner, HCR-91-47. She remembered it because Elena remembered numbers the way other people remembered faces. She remembered account balances, transaction dates, routing codes, transfer amounts. She remembered everything. And there was something very wrong with that folder, but no one was asking her. No one ever did. So Elena turned back to window 4. She counted another stack of bills, 100, 200, 300. Outside the bank, black cars began arriving. The lobby grew quieter. Something had changed. Elena could feel it. People moved differently when they were afraid. The guards stood straighter. The managers stopped talking. Martin Vale looked at the entrance. Then he looked at his watch. A black sedan stopped outside the revolving doors. A man stepped out. He wore a dark charcoal coat, no tie, no visible security. That was what made Elena nervous. Men with nothing to fear often arrived with guards. Men who were feared did not need them. Adrian Cross entered Harrington Crown Bank. The Don. That was what people called him when they were certain he could not hear. Adrian Cross controlled shipping companies, private investment firms, construction groups, restaurants, nightclubs, and a financial network so complicated that even federal investigators had spent years trying to understand it. Some called him a businessman. Some called him a criminal. Everyone called him dangerous. He walked through the lobby without looking left or right. His face was calm. His eyes were not. Behind him came 2 men in dark suits. They did not speak. They did not need to. The entire lobby seemed to shrink around Adrian. Martin Vale rushed forward. "Mr. Cross." Adrian stopped. "Martin." His voice was quiet. That made it worse. Martin smiled nervously. "We've been expecting you." "I know." A pause. The audit is ready. Good. Adrian's eyes moved across the lobby. For 1 second, they passed over Elena. She lowered her gaze, not because she was afraid, because she had learned never to stare at powerful men. But Adrian had already noticed her. Not her dress, not her body, her hands. She was counting money without looking at it. That was unusual. Very unusual. "Who's the teller?" Adrian asked. Martin glanced toward Elena. His expression changed. "Oh, her?" Elena's fingers stopped. Martin laughed awkwardly. "That's Elena. She works the retail counter." "Her name is Elena?" "Yes." Adrian looked at her again. Elena raised her eyes. Their gazes met. For 1 strange second, the entire lobby seemed silent. Adrian saw a woman with tired eyes, a cheap black dress, dark hair pulled into a loose bun, a small scar near her left eyebrow, and an expression that did not match the rest of her. She was not impressed. She was not frightened. She was studying him. Elena looked away first. Martin cleared his throat. "Mr. Cross, perhaps we should go upstairs." Adrian nodded. "Perhaps." He walked toward the elevators, then stopped. "Elena." She looked up. "Yes?" "How long have you worked here?" 6 years?" 6 years. "Yes." Adrian's gaze remained on her. "Do you like it?" Elena hesitated. It was a dangerous question. She could say yes, she could say no, she could lie. Instead, she said, "I like being able to pay my bills." Martin's face turned red. One of the managers coughed. Adrian's mouth almost moved. Almost. "Fair answer." Then he walked away. Elena watched him disappear behind the elevator doors. Something in her stomach twisted. She did not know why. Maybe because powerful men were dangerous. Maybe because she had just told the most dangerous man in the building the truth. Or maybe because Adrian Cross had looked at her like she was a person. Not a joke. Not a cashier. A person. She pushed the thought away. She had more important problems. The first was rent. The second was her mother's medical debt. The third was the credit card she had used to pay for both. And the fourth was the fact that her manager had warned her that another mistake could cost her job. Elena looked at the clock. 8:23. She had another 7 hours to survive. She thought that was all she had to worry about. She was wrong. Upstairs, Adrian Cross entered the private boardroom. The door closed. Martin Vale stood at the head of the table. 8 executives sat around it. The room was designed to intimidate. Dark wood, black leather chairs, a wall of windows overlooking the city. On the table sat a single folder, the same blue folder Elena had noticed. Adrian sat down. "Show me." Martin opened the folder. "The transfer has been approved." "To whom?" "An international holding company." "Which one?" Martin named it. Adrian's expression did not change. "Why?" "Tax optimization." "That answer is for amateurs." Martin swallowed. Adrian leaned back. "Try again." Silence. The chief accountant, Victor Hale, finally spoke. "The structure allows the funds to move through 3 jurisdictions before reaching the acquisition vehicle." "Why 3? "Protection." "From what?" Victor smiled. "Unnecessary exposure." Adrian looked at him. Victor stopped smiling. $10 million, Adrian said. Martin nodded. 10 million. "And you expect me to move it today?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because the deadline is today." Adrian's eyes narrowed. "Who created the deadline?" Victor answered. "The seller." "Who verified it?" "I did." "Who approved it?" Martin looked at Adrian. "The board." Adrian looked around the room. "Then why am I here?"
Nobody spoke. That was when Adrian knew something was wrong. He had spent 20 years learning one simple truth. People became nervous when they were hiding something, and everyone in that room was nervous. Victor opened another document. The transaction is completely secure. Adrian looked down. Completely? Yes. That's a dangerous word. Victor smiled again. We've done our due diligence. Adrian reached for the papers. He began reading. Downstairs, Elena was still counting cash. She had forgotten about the executives. She had forgotten about Adrian.
Then a customer handed her a deposit slip. She looked at it and froze. The account number was wrong. Not completely wrong, just one digit. A single digit. The customer had written 8847319. The system showed 8847318. Elena checked the account. Then she checked the customer's identification. Ma'am. Yes? Did you mean to transfer this to account ending in 19? The woman frowned. No, 18. Elena nodded. Then the slip is incorrect. The woman apologized. Elena corrected it. A simple mistake. A harmless mistake. But Elena stared at the screen for another second. One digit. One number. One tiny difference. She looked at the clock. Then she looked toward the elevators. Something bothered her. She did not know what. Yet. Upstairs, Adrian turned another page. His eyes stopped. He looked at Victor. Explain this. Victor leaned forward. Which part? The beneficiary. That's the acquisition company. No. Victor blinked. Adrian tapped the paper. This beneficiary is not the company. Victor's face changed. Only slightly, but Elena would have noticed. Adrian did too. Of course it is. No. Adrian pushed the document across the table. Read the registration number. Victor looked down. His lips parted. Martin leaned closer. What is it? Victor said nothing. Adrian's voice became colder. Read it. Victor finally did. The room went silent. The registration number belonged to another company, a shell company, one with no visible operations, one created less than 4 months earlier. Martin stood. That's impossible. Adrian looked at him. Is it? Victor verified everything. Adrian turned toward the chief accountant. Victor's hands were shaking. There's been an administrative error. An administrative error? Yes. $10 million. Yes. Adrian leaned forward. That's a very expensive typo. Victor tried to laugh. Nobody joined him. Adrian closed the folder. Cancel the transfer.
Martin immediately reached for his phone. It's already processing. Adrian's head lifted. What? Martin froze. It's already processing. Adrian's eyes hardened. When was it initiated? 7:50. Adrian looked at the clock. 8:47. Why was I not told? Martin had no answer. Adrian looked at Victor. Who authorized it? Victor said nothing. Adrian stepped closer. Who authorized the transfer? Victor's face went pale. The system did. Adrian smiled. It was not a pleasant smile. Systems don't authorize $10 million transfers. Nobody spoke. Adrian's phone rang. He answered. Yes. A pause. His expression changed. Stop it. Another pause. How long? His jaw tightened. Do it. He ended the call. Martin looked terrified. What's happening? Adrian slowly turned toward him. The money is moving. The room went silent. How much? Martin whispered. 10 million. Martin sat down. Adrian looked at the blue folder, then at Victor. Someone built a trap.
Victor shook his head. No. Adrian's eyes hardened. Someone built a trap. He turned toward the door. Find out who. Downstairs, Elena was still staring at the computer. She had opened the transaction history. She was not supposed to. But she knew the system. She knew the bank. She knew how transactions appeared before they settled. Her eyes moved across the screen, then stopped. There, a transaction number. She knew it. She had seen it 3 days earlier. Elena's heartbeat increased. She looked at the screen again. The $10 million transfer was not going where it was supposed to go. It was being routed through an intermediary account, an account that did not appear on the official paperwork. Elena's mouth went dry. She clicked another screen. There was the intermediary, then another, then another. 3 layers, 3 shell accounts, then the final destination. Elena stared. Her mind began connecting the pieces. She knew that company. She had seen it in an account closure request 2 months ago. The account had been closed after suspicious activity. But someone had reopened a nearly identical account under a different registration number. Elena stared at the screen. Then she understood. The transfer was not merely stealing $10 million. It was designed to trigger a chain reaction. If the transfer failed, several other accounts would freeze. If those accounts froze, loans would be called. If the loans were called, companies would collapse. If the companies collapsed, creditors would move against Adrian Cross's legitimate assets. The trap was bigger than 10 million. The 10 million was bait. The real target was the entire financial structure. Elena looked toward the elevators. She stood there for several seconds. She knew what she should do. Nothing. She was a cashier, not an auditor, not an executive, not a financial investigator. If she accused someone important, she could lose her job.
If she was wrong, she could be fired. If she was right... She looked down at the paper. $10 million. She thought about her rent, her debts, her mother's hospital bills. Then she thought about the people upstairs. They had laughed at her dress. They had mocked her body. They had ignored her for 6 years. Why should she save them? Elena folded the paper. She almost put it away. Then she remembered something her father had told her when she was 12. He had been a bookkeeper, a quiet man, a careful man. He used to say that numbers never lied. People did. And when people lied, numbers usually left fingerprints. Elena unfolded the paper. She looked at the elevator again. Then she walked away from her station. "Where are you going?" her supervisor called. Elena stopped. She turned. "Upstairs." Her supervisor laughed. "You're not allowed upstairs. I need to speak to someone." "Who?" Elena looked toward the elevators. "Adrian Cross." The supervisor stared at her, then laughed harder. "You?" Elena's face remained calm. "Yes." "Elena, get back to your window. There's a $10 million transfer." The laughter stopped. Her supervisor stared. "What?" Elena lowered her voice. "Someone is sending $10 million through a shell structure." "How do you know that?" "Because I can see it." Her supervisor looked around. "Are you insane?" "No. You're a cashier." Elena's fingers tightened around the paper. "I know." "Then do your job." Elena looked at the elevators. For 6 years, she had been invisible. Maybe that was why she had seen it. Because nobody had ever thought to hide it from her. She stepped toward the elevator. Her supervisor grabbed her arm. "Elena!" She turned. "Let go. You don't understand what you're doing." Elena looked into his eyes. "No." She gently pulled her arm free. "I understand exactly what I'm doing." She pressed the elevator button. The doors opened. Inside stood Martin Vale. His face was pale. Elena stepped inside. Martin stared at her. "What are you doing here?" Elena held up the folded paper. "I need to speak to Mr. Cross." Martin's expression changed. "Why?" "Because your $10 million transfer is going to the wrong place." Martin went completely still. The elevator doors closed.
For 3 seconds, neither of them moved. Then Martin pressed the emergency stop. The elevator jerked. Elena grabbed the railing. "What are you doing?" Martin turned toward her. "Where did you get that information?" "From the bank system." "You accessed restricted data." "I accessed information I was authorized to see." "You're a cashier." "I know." Martin stared at her. His face had lost all color. "You need to understand something, Elena. This is not your problem. It becomes my problem when the bank processes an illegal transfer." "Illegal? Do you want me to say fraud instead?" Martin's eyes hardened. "Careful." Elena felt the old fear rise. She had spent years hearing that word. Careful. Careful with your tone. Careful with your questions. Careful with your opinions. Careful with your body. Careful with your clothes. Careful. She looked at Martin. "Are you threatening me?" "No." "Then why did you say it like one?" Martin leaned closer. "Because you don't know what you're talking about." Elena held up the paper. "I know the beneficiary account is false." Martin's jaw tightened. "I know the money passed through 3 shell companies." His breathing changed. "I know the final account was created 4 months ago." Silence. "And I know that account was previously closed by this bank because of suspicious activity." Martin stared at her. Elena's voice became quieter. "So either I'm wrong, or someone in this building is lying." The elevator remained still. Martin reached for the emergency button. He released it. The elevator began moving again. "You will forget this conversation." "No." Martin looked at her. "Excuse me?" "I said no." The elevator doors opened.
The executive floor waited beyond them. Martin stepped out. Elena followed. 2 security guards immediately moved toward her. Martin raised one hand. "Let her through." The guards stopped. Martin walked toward the boardroom. Elena followed. Her heart was beating so hard she could feel it in her throat. The door opened. Every face turned. Adrian stood near the windows. Victor Hale sat at the table. The chief accountant looked at Elena. For a moment, confusion replaced fear. Then amusement. "What's she doing here?" Victor laughed. Adrian did not. He looked at Elena. "Come in." She stepped inside. The door closed behind her. Martin remained near the entrance. Adrian looked at the folded paper in her hand. "What's your name?" "Elena Morris." "I know." That surprised her. Adrian walked toward the table. "Martin tells me you have information about my money." Elena glanced at Martin. "He didn't tell me that." "No?" "He told me to forget the conversation." Adrian's eyes moved to Martin. Martin swallowed. "I was trying to protect the bank." Adrian looked back at Elena. "How much?" 10 million. Adrian's expression remained still. "Where's it going?" Elena placed the paper on the table. "Here." Adrian picked it up. Victor stood. "That's confidential." Adrian did not look at him. "Sit down." Victor sat. Elena pointed to the numbers. "The first transfer goes to this company." Adrian nodded. "Yes." "That company is not the actual acquisition vehicle." Victor interrupted. "That's not correct." Elena looked at him. "Then why is the registration number different?" Victor went silent. Elena continued. "The money moves from there to another company." Adrian listened. "Then another." She pointed to the final account. "And then here." Adrian looked at the number. His eyes changed. He recognized it. Elena noticed. "You know this account?" "Yes." Adrian's voice was low. "It belongs to a company I shut down." Elena nodded. "Exactly." Victor stood abruptly. "This is ridiculous." Adrian turned. "Sit." Victor froze. "Mr. Cross, sit." Victor sat. Elena's fingers trembled slightly. Adrian noticed. He reached for a glass of water and pushed it toward her. She looked at him. "Drink." "I'm fine." "That wasn't a question."
Elena hesitated. Then she drank. Adrian waited. Continue. Elena pointed to the transaction. The transfer is designed to look like a normal acquisition payment. Martin frowned. How do you know? Because the paperwork is structured that way. You're a cashier. Elena looked at him. And you're the CFO. Silence. One of the executives looked down to hide a smile. Martin's face darkened. Adrian's eyes remained on Elena. She continued. The problem is not the first transfer, it's what happens after. Adrian leaned forward. What happens? Elena took a breath. The moment the 10 million leaves this account, the system triggers a series of linked obligations. Victor shook his head. That's impossible. Elena turned toward him. You can check.
I already did. No. Victor's eyes narrowed. You are accusing me of incompetence? I'm telling you that you checked the wrong sequence. Adrian looked at Elena. Show me. She moved toward the screen. Martin started to object. Adrian lifted a hand. Nobody spoke. Elena logged into the system. Her fingers moved quickly. She opened the transaction map. A series of lines appeared. Adrian watched. Elena clicked one, then another. Here. Adrian stepped closer. She pointed. This account is connected to the transfer. That's normal. No. Why? Because this account is listed as independent. Adrian looked at her. But it isn't. Elena shook her head. It's connected to 3 other accounts. Victor stepped forward. How? Same authorization pattern. Victor frowned. Elena zoomed in. Look at the timing. Adrian did. The transfers had been initiated within seconds of one another. Someone is using the same authorization code. Martin's voice became faint. That's impossible.
Elena looked at him. You're right. Adrian's gaze sharpened. Why? Because the authorization code is supposed to change every time. Victor stared at the screen. Elena looked at him. Unless someone has access to the master authorization. The room went silent. Adrian slowly turned toward Victor. Victor's face had become white. No. Adrian said nothing. Victor looked around. This is absurd. Elena stepped back. She suddenly realized something. Victor was not surprised. He was afraid. There was a difference. Adrian saw it too. He looked at his security chief. Lock the floor. The man nodded. Nobody leaves. Martin's voice cracked. Adrian, this is a bank. Adrian looked at him. Exactly. The doors locked. Victor stood. You can't hold me here. Adrian stared at him. You're not being held. Victor's breathing became heavier. Then I'm leaving. He turned toward the door. The security chief blocked him. Victor stopped. Adrian walked closer. Sit down.
I have done nothing wrong. Adrian smiled. Then you have nothing to fear. Victor sat. Elena stood near the screen. She wanted to leave. She had done what she came to do. She had warned them. Now she could return to her window. But Adrian looked at her. How did you find it? Elena hesitated. I noticed the beneficiary. Why? Because the registration number was wrong. Anyone could notice that. No. Adrian studied her. Elena looked at the screen. Most people don't read numbers. You do. Yes. Why? Elena shrugged. Numbers make sense. Adrian almost smiled. People don't? Not usually. Something changed in his expression. It was small, but Elena saw it. For the first time, Adrian seemed interested in her answer. He sat down. Tell me about your father. Elena froze. Why? You said numbers make sense. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. Elena looked toward the window. The city stretched beneath them. My father was a bookkeeper. Was? He died. Adrian waited. Elena did not continue. How? Heart attack. How old? 51. Adrian's expression changed. Young. Too young. What did he teach you? Elena looked at the papers. That numbers leave fingerprints. Adrian glanced at Victor. Victor shifted in his chair. Elena saw it. Adrian saw that she saw it. A silent conversation passed between them. Then Adrian asked the question that changed everything. Elena, if I gave you $10 million and told you to find the mistake, where would you look first? She answered immediately. At the person who benefits when everyone else loses. The room went still. Adrian stared at her. Victor's hand tightened around the armrest. Elena noticed. Adrian noticed. That's the answer, Adrian said quietly. Martin looked confused. What's the answer to what? Adrian ignored him. He looked at Elena. Why did you come upstairs? Elena looked down. Because I thought you should know. Why?
Because if you lost the money, the bank would be blamed. Only the bank? Elena hesitated. No. Then why? She looked directly into his eyes. Because you were being robbed. Adrian's gaze held hers. And you cared? No. Martin looked surprised. Elena continued, I cared about the truth. Adrian leaned back. For the first time that morning he smiled. Not warmly, not kindly, but with something dangerously close to respect. Interesting. Elena felt uncomfortable. Can I go now? Martin laughed. Adrian did not. No. Elena's heart stopped. Adrian stood. You cannot leave. Why? Because someone inside this bank knows you found the transfer. I don't understand. You will. Adrian looked toward the security chief. Bring me the complete access log. Then he turned to Elena. Until I know who is responsible, you stay here. I'm a cashier. Not anymore. Elena stared at him. What does that mean? Adrian walked toward the door. It means you just became the most important person in this building. The door opened. Before Adrian stepped through, his phone rang. He answered. His expression changed. Say that again? He listened, then looked back at Elena. Who? A pause. How long ago? Another pause. Find her. He ended the call. Elena felt cold. Who? Adrian's eyes were fixed on her. Your mother. Elena's breath caught. What about her? Adrian did not answer immediately. His security chief approached. Mr. Cross. Adrian looked at him. Tell her. The man hesitated. Her mother left the hospital 20 minutes ago. Elena stared. What? She was discharged? No. Adrian's voice became darker. She disappeared. Elena's face went white. Her chair moved backward. No. Adrian stepped toward her. Elena. No. She grabbed her phone. She called her mother. Once. No answer. Twice. No answer. 3 times. Nothing. Her hands began to shake. She always answers. Adrian looked at her. Not today.
Elena stared at the phone. Then she looked up. What does this have to do with me? Adrian's eyes hardened. Everything. The room seemed to tilt. Victor looked away. Elena noticed. She turned toward him. You know something. Victor's head snapped up. I don't. Yes, you do. Adrian looked at Victor. Victor shook his head. She's frightened. She doesn't know what she's saying. Elena stepped toward him. My mother is 72 years old. Victor said nothing. She can't walk more than 2 blocks without resting. Still nothing. She doesn't disappear. Elena's voice cracked. So tell me what you know. Victor looked at Adrian. Adrian's expression was empty. Victor, I know nothing. Elena slapped both hands on the table. You're lying. The room went silent. Nobody had ever spoken to Victor Hale like that, not in 20 years. He stared at Elena. Adrian did too. Then Adrian said one word. Again. Victor blinked. Again what? Tell her. I don't know anything.
Adrian's voice became colder. You're lying. Victor's face changed. Adrian stepped closer. Now tell her the truth. Victor looked at Elena, then at Adrian. His lips trembled. I don't know where your mother is. Elena stared. That's not what I asked. Victor swallowed. I don't know where she is. Do you know why she was taken? Victor said nothing. Elena moved closer. Do you? Victor closed his eyes. Adrian watched him. Finally, Victor whispered, because of the money. Elena's blood ran cold. What money? Victor looked at her. The 10 million. Adrian's expression turned deadly. Victor immediately shook his head. I didn't do it. Adrian grabbed him by the collar and pulled him to his feet. Who did? I don't know. Adrian slammed him against the wall. Elena flinched. Adrian! He stopped. Victor stared at him. Elena stared too. For 1 second, nobody moved. Adrian released him. Victor stumbled. Adrian turned to Elena. You're coming with me. Where? Somewhere safe. I can't leave. You can. My mother. We will find her. How? Adrian looked directly into her eyes. Because now I have a reason. Elena shook her head. I don't trust you. Good. She blinked. Adrian stepped closer. You shouldn't trust me. Then why should I go with you? Because the people who took your mother don't care whether you trust me. He paused. They care whether you talk. Elena's face tightened. And if I don't? Adrian's eyes darkened. Then they will find another way to make you talk. Elena looked at the locked door, then at the security guards, then at Victor. She knew she was trapped, but not by Adrian, by the world she had accidentally stepped into. She looked back at him. If I go with you, you don't control me. Adrian's eyebrows rose. You don't make demands. Then I stay here. A long silence. Adrian studied her. Then he nodded. Fine. Elena blinked. Fine? You don't belong to me. She had expected anger. Instead, Adrian sounded almost amused.
But until this is over, you stay where I can protect you. That's still controlling. That's protecting. What's the difference? Adrian leaned closer. The difference is whether you survive. Elena hated that the answer frightened her. She hated even more that she believed him. Adrian opened the door. Come. Elena did not move. One condition. He stopped. What? If you find my mother, you tell me immediately. Of course. And if you know something about her disappearance, you tell me. Adrian's face became unreadable. Yes. Promise. Adrian held her gaze. I promise. Elena picked up her bag. She walked toward the door. As she passed Victor, he whispered something. Elena! She stopped. Victor looked terrified. Don't trust him. Elena turned. Who? Victor looked toward Adrian. The Don. Adrian heard him. He did not react. Elena looked at Victor, then at Adrian, and walked out. The elevator doors closed behind them. Neither spoke. Elena stood at one side.
Adrian stood at the other. She could feel his presence without looking. Finally, she said, Does everyone call you that? Call me what? The Don. Not to my face. Do you like it? No. Why? It makes people forget I'm a man. Elena looked at him. Are you? Adrian turned. What? A man. For the first time, she saw genuine surprise on his face, then something else, a quiet amusement. You're very brave for someone who just discovered her mother has been kidnapped. Elena looked away. Maybe I'm not brave. What are you? Tired. Adrian studied her. Of what? Being afraid. The elevator stopped. The doors opened. They entered the underground garage, A black SUV waited. Elena stopped. That's yours? Yes. It looks like a tank. It's safer than a sedan. I don't think I'm going to get used to this. You don't have to. She looked at him. Then why do I feel like you expect me to? Adrian opened the rear door. I don't expect anything from you. That's not true.
What do I expect? Elena looked into his eyes. You expect me to stay alive? Adrian's expression changed. Yes. Why? He held her gaze. Because you saved $10 million. That's all? No. Elena waited. Adrian looked away. Get in. She did. The door closed. Adrian entered from the other side. The vehicle moved. Elena watched the bank disappear behind them. She had worked there for 6 years. 6 years of being invisible. Now she was leaving with the most feared man in the city. Her phone vibrated. A message. Unknown number. Elena opened it. There was one sentence. You should have kept counting cash. Her blood froze. Adrian saw her face. What is it? Elena handed him the phone. He read the message. His expression became cold. Do you know this number? No. Have you received messages like this before? No. Adrian gave the phone to his security chief. Trace it. The man nodded. Elena stared out the window. Adrian sat beside her. For several minutes, neither spoke. Then Elena said quietly, This is my fault. No. If I hadn't found the transfer, they would have taken your mother anyway. You don't know that. I do. How? Adrian looked at her. Because they didn't take her to stop you from finding the money. Elena frowned. Then why? To make sure you wouldn't expose what you found. She swallowed. That means they knew. Yes. How? Adrian's eyes moved toward the city. Someone told them. Who? That's what we're going to find out. The car drove through the gates of a massive estate. Elena stared. The property was hidden behind high stone walls and black iron gates. Security cameras followed the vehicle. Men stood at strategic points. She had never seen anything like it. The gates closed behind them. Elena looked at Adrian. You live here? Sometimes. Where do you live the rest of the time? Places. She almost laughed. You really don't answer questions. I answer the ones that matter. That's convenient. Adrian glanced at her. Very. The car stopped. A woman in her 60s waited at the entrance. She wore a dark uniform. Her posture was straight. Her face was calm. Adrian stepped out. Mrs. Bell. Mr. Cross. His gaze moved toward Elena. She is Elena Morris. The woman looked at her. Not at her body, not at her dress, her face. Then she smiled. Welcome, Miss Morris. Elena was surprised. Thank you. Your room is ready. Elena looked at Adrian. My room? You're staying. For how long? Until your mother is found. Elena stared at him. That could take days. Then you'll stay days. Weeks? If necessary. Months? Adrian stepped closer. Let's hope not. Elena folded her arms. I have bills. I'll handle them. She stared at him. No. Adrian's expression hardened. No? I don't need you paying my bills. Your mother was taken because of me. No. Because of my money. Because of my enemies. Same thing. No. Elena stepped closer. My debts are mine. Adrian looked at her. Your debts are paid. She froze. What? I said they're paid. By whom? Me. Elena's face changed. Why would you do that? Because you saved my money. I didn't do it for money. I know. Then why? Adrian looked at her for a long moment. Because I don't like owing people. Elena shook her head. That's not a reason.
It's the only one you're getting. She turned away. How much? Enough. How much? Adrian's jaw tightened. $23,418. Elena froze. She slowly turned. How do you know the exact amount? Adrian's eyes remained on her. I know everything about the people under my protection. She felt a chill. Protection? Yes. I'm not under your protection. Adrian looked toward the security team. Then why are there 6 armed men outside? Elena said nothing. He stepped closer. You're under my protection. She hated the way the words made her feel. Not safe. Not exactly. Seen. For the first time in years, someone had noticed the number she carried. Her debts, her mother's bills, her rent, her life. And somehow, that was more frightening than being invisible. Adrian walked away. Mrs. Bell will show you your room. Elena followed. Adrian. He stopped. Yes. She hesitated. Thank you. He looked back. Don't thank me yet. Why? Because we haven't found your mother. The door closed behind him. Elena stood alone in the hallway. Mrs. Bell watched her. He's not usually like this. Elena looked at her. Like what? Interested. Elena laughed softly. I don't think he's interested. Mrs. Bell smiled. Of course not. Seriously. Of course. Elena narrowed her eyes. Mrs. Bell turned. This way. The room was enormous. A bed larger than Elena's entire living room. A private bathroom. A wardrobe. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Elena walked inside. She felt like an intruder. Then she noticed the wardrobe. It was full. She opened it. Dresses. Shoes. Coats.
All in her size. Elena stared. She touched one dress. Soft fabric. Expensive. She pulled out another, then another. Her throat tightened. How did he know? Mrs. Bell stood behind her. Mr. Cross knows. Knows what? Your size? Elena turned. Mrs. Bell said nothing else. Elena looked at the clothes. She felt anger rising. She walked out of the room. Where is he? Mrs. Bell's expression changed. Miss Morris? Where is Adrian? Mr. Cross is busy. Where? Mrs. Bell hesitated. Downstairs. Elena walked away. She found him in a private office. Adrian stood over a table covered with papers. Victor Hale was there. So was Martin. And 3 men Elena had never seen. The conversation stopped when she entered. Adrian looked up. What's wrong? The clothes. He glanced at her. What about them? They're not mine. They are now. I didn't ask for them. I know. Then send them back. Adrian stared. Why? Because I don't need them. You need clothes. I have clothes. He glanced at her black dress. You have 1 dress. I have 2. 1. Elena's face flushed. That's not your business. It is if you're staying in my house. Why? Because you represent me now. I represent you? You're under my protection. That doesn't mean I have to dress like you own me. The room went silent. Adrian's face hardened. He walked toward her. Elena held her ground. I don't own you. Then don't dress me. Fine. She waited. Adrian turned toward the door. Burn them. Elena blinked. What? All of them. Adrian. He looked at her. Send the dresses back. Elena was surprised. Fine. He turned to the security chief. Call the designer. The designer? Yes. Elena frowned. What designer? Adrian looked at her. You'll need clothes.
I don't. You do. I can buy my own. No. Why? Because I'm not sending you into public wearing something that makes people stare at you for the wrong reasons. Elena's face tightened. What's wrong with the way I look? Adrian went still. Elena's voice trembled. Say it. I didn't say anything. You don't have to. She pointed toward the dresses. You think I need to hide? No. Then what? Adrian stepped closer. I think you've spent too long hiding yourself. Elena stopped. Adrian's voice softened. That's different. She looked at him. You don't know me. No? Then don't decide what I should wear. Fair. He turned. Tell the designer what you want. Elena stared. Me? Yes. Why? Because they're your clothes. Adrian walked back to the table. Make them fit you. Elena did not move. Adrian looked up. Not the other way around. Something in her chest broke, just a little. She looked away. Fine. Adrian nodded. The door closed. Elena stood there. For years, people had told her to hide. Hide her arms, hide her stomach, hide her hips. Wear dark colors, wear loose clothes. Don't draw attention, don't take up space. And now, one dangerous man had told the designer to make clothes that fit her, not clothes that erased her. She did not know what to do with that. Behind the office door, Adrian watched her leave. Victor looked at him. You're making a mistake. Adrian did not turn. Which one? The girl. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Elena. She knows too much. That's why she's here. Victor shook his head. She'll become a problem. Adrian turned. She already is. Then send her away. No. Why? Adrian looked toward the closed door. Because she is the first honest person I've met in this bank. Victor laughed. She's a cashier. Adrian's expression changed. Exactly. He walked closer. She had nothing to gain. Victor's smile disappeared. Adrian leaned toward him. And you had everything to lose. Victor's face went white. Adrian turned to Martin. Find every transaction Victor touched in the last 18 months. Martin nodded. Everyone? Everyone. That will take days.
Then you have days. Adrian walked toward the door. Victor stood. Adrian, he stopped. You're making a mistake. Adrian looked back. No. His eyes became cold. I'm correcting one. That night, Elena could not sleep. She stood by the window in the enormous bedroom. The city lights glittered below. She had never been this high above the ground. Her phone lay on the bed. No calls, no messages, no word about her mother. She looked at the clock. 2:17 in the morning. She closed her eyes, then heard a sound, a door. Elena turned. Someone was walking in the hallway. Slowly. She stepped toward her bedroom door. It opened. A man stood outside. Not Adrian. Elena froze. The man smiled. Miss Morris? She backed away. Who are you? He stepped inside. Someone who wants to help you. Get out! His smile disappeared. You should have listened to Martin. Elena's heart slammed against her ribs. You know Martin? The man moved closer. Everyone knows Martin. Elena reached for the phone. The man grabbed her wrist. She screamed. He covered her mouth. Don't! Elena fought. She kicked him. He cursed. She twisted free, ran. The man caught her before she reached the door. Then the door exploded open. Adrian stood there. The man released Elena. Adrian crossed the room in 2 steps. He grabbed the intruder by the throat and slammed him against the wall. Who sent you? The man gasped. Adrian tightened his grip. Who? I don't know. Adrian's fist struck the wall beside his head. Elena screamed. Adrian! He stopped. He looked at her. She was shaking. Adrian released the man. Security rushed inside. Take him. 2 men dragged the intruder away. Adrian turned to Elena. Are you hurt? She shook her head. No. Let me see. I'm fine. Elena. She looked at him. He stepped closer. His eyes moved over her face, her neck, her arms. Did he touch you? Yes. Adrian's jaw tightened. Where? He grabbed my wrist. Adrian took her hand. He examined the red marks. His expression became terrifyingly calm. Adrian, he looked at her. I'm okay. No, I am. No, his voice was quiet. You're not. Elena looked at him. For the first time, she saw something in his eyes that scared her more than anger. Fear. He was afraid. Not for himself, for her. She gently pulled her hand away. You promised. What? That you would tell me the truth. Adrian's expression hardened. I will. Who was he? We'll find out. Was he sent by Victor? I don't know. Was he sent by Martin? I don't know. Then who? Adrian looked toward the door. Someone who wants to know what you saw. Elena felt cold. I already told you. I know. Then why am I still in danger? Adrian looked at her. Because the people behind this don't know how much you told me. Elena swallowed. What do they think? They think you know everything. I don't. I know. Then tell them. I can't. Why?
Because I need them to believe you're still hiding something. Elena stared. Adrian stepped closer. That's why you're staying here. So I'm bait. No, you just said you're protected bait. Elena almost laughed. That's supposed to make me feel better? No. Good. Adrian looked at her. You should be angry. I am. Good. At you. His eyes narrowed. Why? Because you brought me here. I saved your life. You put me in danger. You were already in danger. Because of you. Because of the money. Because of your world. Adrian said nothing. Elena's eyes filled with tears. She wiped them away angrily. I had a normal life. Adrian looked at her. No, you didn't. What? You had a life where people laughed at you. She froze. You had a job where your managers ignored your intelligence. His voice remained calm. You had debts you couldn't pay. Elena looked away. You had a mother who was sick. She swallowed. And you had no one. Stop. Adrian did. For a moment, silence. Then he said quietly, Now you have me. Elena looked at him. Her heart betrayed her. One beat, then another. She hated him for saying it. She hated herself for wanting to believe it. That's the problem, she whispered. Adrian's eyes searched hers. What is? I don't know if that's supposed to make me feel safe. He stepped closer. Does it? Elena looked at him. No. Adrian nodded. Good. Then he left. Elena stood alone. The door closed. She touched her wrist. The red marks were still there. But the thing she could not stop thinking about was not the intruder. It was Adrian's face when he had seen her afraid. He had looked at her as if losing her would cost him something. She did not understand why, and she was not sure she wanted to. The next morning, Elena woke to 3 knocks. Mrs. Bell entered. Miss Morris. Elena sat up. Yes? Mr. Cross wants you downstairs. Why? I don't know. Is my mother? No news yet. Elena's heart fell. She dressed quickly. The wardrobe had been changed. The designer had arrived while she slept. There were sketches on the table. Elena picked one up. The dress was elegant, black, long, fitted at the waist, designed to follow the natural curves of her body, not hide them. She stared. Mrs. Bell watched her. Mr. Cross said the designer should make you look like yourself. Elena's throat tightened. He said that? Yes. She touched the sketch. Then she saw another, and another. For the first time in her life, she imagined herself wearing something beautiful without apologizing for her body.
It frightened her. She put the sketch down. "Tell him I won't wear it." Mrs. Bell smiled. "You can tell him yourself." Downstairs, Adrian stood at the end of a long dining table. Elena entered. He looked at her. She wore her cheap black dress. His eyes moved over it, then back to her face. "Good morning." "Morning." "Did you sleep?" "Not really." "Neither did I." Elena paused. "Why?" Adrian looked at her. "I had an intruder in my house." "You mean the man who came into my room?" "Yes." "So you didn't sleep because of me?" "I didn't say that." Elena sat. Adrian remained standing. A plate was placed in front of her. She looked down. "I don't eat breakfast." "Why?" "Because I'm not hungry." "Eat." "No." Adrian sat across from her. "Elena." She looked up. "What?" "You're going to have to learn something." "What?" "When I tell you to eat, it's because you haven't eaten." Her eyes narrowed. "How would you know?" "Mrs. Bell told me." Elena looked toward the kitchen. Mrs. Bell disappeared. Elena sighed. "You have spies everywhere." "Security." "Same thing." Adrian almost smiled. "Eat." She picked up a piece of toast. "Happy?" "No." "Why?" "Because you're still angry." "I am." "Good." She looked at him. "You like that?" "I like people who tell me when they're angry." "Why?" "Because then I know where I stand." Elena stared. "Do you always talk like this?" "Like what?"
Like every sentence is a threat. Adrian leaned back. "Usually." She almost smiled. Almost. Then the phone rang. Adrian answered. His expression changed. Elena knew immediately. "What?" He listened. "Where?" Another pause. "When?" He stood. "Send me the location." He ended the call. Elena stood too. "What happened?" Adrian looked at her. "We found your mother's car." Elena's breath stopped. "Where?" "At the hospital." "Is she there?" "No." "Then where is she?" Adrian's face was hard. "That's what we're going to find out." The drive to the hospital took 20 minutes. Elena sat beside Adrian. She held her phone. Her mother had still not answered. When they arrived, Adrian's security team moved first. Elena followed. The hospital entrance was crowded. Doctors, nurses, visitors, people rushing in every direction. Elena ran toward the reception desk. "My mother." The receptionist looked up. "Name?" "Margaret Morris." The woman typed. "She was discharged." "She wasn't discharged."
"That's what the system says." "She was sick." "I understand." "No, you don't." Elena gripped the counter. "She can't leave alone." The receptionist looked uncomfortable. "Miss Morris, I can only tell you what I see." Adrian stepped forward. "Show me the file." The receptionist looked frightened. "I'm sorry." Adrian placed a card on the desk. "Show me." The woman looked at it. Her face changed. She opened the file. Elena leaned closer. "She was discharged at 11:42 last night." Elena stared. "That's impossible." The receptionist nodded. "Yes." Adrian looked at her. "Why?" The woman swallowed. "Because the doctor who authorized the discharge doesn't work here." Silence. Elena's hands began to shake. Adrian looked at his security chief. "Find the doctor." The man nodded. Elena turned. "Where are we going?" Adrian looked at her. "Records." They entered a restricted hallway. Elena followed. "Adrian." "Yes?" "Why would someone fake my mother's discharge?" "So they could move her without raising suspicion." "Where?" "Outside." Elena felt sick. They reached the records room. A technician opened the files. The discharge order appeared. Adrian studied it. Elena leaned closer. Then she saw the signature. She froze. Wait. Adrian looked at her. What? Elena pointed. That's not a doctor. The technician frowned. What? Elena looked at the signature. That's a bank employee. The room went silent. Adrian's eyes sharpened. Who? Elena read the name. Daniel Price. Martin Vale's assistant. Adrian turned. Find him. The security chief moved. Elena stared at the screen. He's the one who brought the transfer documents to my window. Adrian looked at her. When? 3 days ago. Why? He needed a signature. Whose? Mine. Adrian's expression changed. Your signature? Elena nodded. For a customer verification. Did you sign? No. Why? Because the document was wrong. Adrian stepped closer. What was wrong? Elena looked at the screen. The account number. Adrian's eyes narrowed. What account? Elena suddenly remembered. She looked at him. The shell company. Adrian went completely still. The pieces connected. The fake discharge, the bank employee, the false account, the $10 million transfer. Elena's mother. Adrian's voice became cold. Martin. Elena shook her head. No. Why? Because Daniel brought the document. Adrian stared at her. Then why would Martin know? Elena thought. Because Martin signed the authorization. Adrian's face changed. That's impossible. Elena looked at him. Why? Because Martin told me he never saw the final transfer. Elena stared. Then he's lying. Adrian looked toward the security chief. Bring Martin to me. The man nodded. Elena's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. Hello? Nothing. Then a voice. Your mother says hello. Elena stopped breathing. Adrian saw her face. The voice continued. She wants to know if you are enjoying your new life. Elena's hand began to shake. Where is she? A laugh. Ask the Don. The call ended. Elena looked at Adrian. They have her. Adrian's eyes were dark. Who? They said to ask you. Adrian took the phone. Trace it. The security chief was already moving. Elena stared at Adrian. You knew this could happen. I knew it was possible. You knew? Yes. Then why didn't you protect her? Adrian's face changed. I didn't know where she was. You have people everywhere. Not everywhere. You're the Don. That doesn't make me God. Elena flinched. Adrian stepped toward her. I will find her. You promised. I know. You promised me. I know. She pushed him, not hard, but enough. Then keep your promise. Adrian stared at her. He could have been angry. Instead, he nodded. I will. They returned to the estate. Martin Vale was already there. His hands were tied. Elena stopped. Adrian walked past her. Untie him.
The guards did. Martin rubbed his wrists. You can't treat me like this. Adrian sat. You lied to me. Martin stared. I didn't. Daniel Price. Martin's face changed. Elena saw it. Adrian saw it. Where is he? Martin said nothing. Adrian looked at Elena. Wait outside. No. Elena, I'm staying. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Why? Because this is about my mother. Martin looked at her. His expression changed. You don't understand. Elena turned. Then explain. Martin looked terrified. Adrian leaned back. Explain. Martin swallowed. Daniel was not working alone. Who else? I don't know. Try. Martin shook his head. I swear. Adrian's voice became colder. Where is your loyalty, Martin? To the bank. No. Adrian stood. To yourself. Martin looked at Elena. They wanted the transfer to happen. Who? I don't know. Why? Because the money was never supposed to arrive. Elena frowned. What does that mean? Martin looked at her.
The 10 million was supposed to disappear. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Explain. If the transfer went through, the shell company would receive the money. Yes. But then it would vanish. Where? Martin shook his head. Into another account. Whose? I don't know. Elena stepped closer. You're lying. Martin looked at her. I swear I'm not. She studied him. Then she saw it. His hands. His right thumb kept moving against his index finger. A nervous habit. But Elena had seen it before. 3 days earlier, when he had approved the transaction. She looked at Adrian. He's telling part of the truth. Martin stared. What? Elena pointed. You're not lying about the money disappearing. Martin swallowed. But you are lying about not knowing where. Silence. Adrian looked at Elena. How do you know? Because he knew the final destination. Martin's face collapsed. Adrian turned. Martin, I didn't. Where? I can't. Adrian stepped closer. Where? Martin looked at Elena. They have my daughter. Elena froze. Adrian stopped. What? Martin's eyes filled with tears. They took my daughter 2 weeks ago. The room went silent. They said if I didn't help them, she'd die. Elena looked at Adrian. Martin continued. I was supposed to make the transfer. Why 10 million? I don't know. Who? I never saw their faces. Adrian's voice became dangerous. You knew enough to betray me. I was trying to save my child. Elena stepped closer. Where is she? Martin shook his head. I don't know. Then how do you know she's alive? Martin closed his eyes. They send me videos. Elena felt a chill. Show us. Martin looked at Adrian. Adrian nodded. Martin pulled out his phone. He opened a file. The video showed a young girl sitting in a dark room. She was crying. Elena covered her mouth. Martin whispered, My daughter. Adrian watched. Then Elena noticed something. Stop. Martin froze. Elena leaned closer. Play it again. He did. She watched. Then she saw it. A small detail. The girl's chair. The wall behind her. A reflection. Stop. The video froze. Elena pointed. There. Adrian leaned closer. What? The reflection. A metal surface. A number. Elena squinted. That's a warehouse code. Martin stared. How do you know? I've seen it. Where? On bank shipping documents. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Which warehouse? Elena looked at the number. Warehouse 17. Adrian's expression changed. That's one of my properties. Martin stared. Elena looked at him. Your daughter is inside one of Adrian's warehouses. Adrian's phone rang. He answered. Yes. A pause. His face became still. Warehouse 17. He looked at Elena. She knew. They had found her mother, or at least part of the truth. Adrian ended the call. Empty. Elena's heart dropped. What? The warehouse is empty. Martin collapsed into a chair. No. Adrian looked at Elena. Someone wanted us to find it. She understood. A distraction. Yes. Then why show us the warehouse code?
Adrian's eyes sharpened, because they wanted us to know they can use my own properties against me. Elena stared at him. Then she realized something else. No. Adrian looked at her. What? They wanted us to think the code was a location. She stepped closer to the video. It's not. Then what is it? Elena stared at the number. An account. Adrian's eyes changed. What? The warehouse code is also used as an internal banking reference. She looked at Martin. The money. Martin went pale. Elena's mind raced. The 10 million isn't going to the shell company. Adrian watched her. It's going somewhere else. Where? Elena grabbed a pen. She wrote the number, then another, then another. Adrian leaned over the table. Elena followed the chain. Her hands moved quickly. This account. She pointed. Adrian recognized it. That's a reserve account. Yes. Mine. Yes. Why would they move money into my own account? Elena looked at him.
Because they want you to steal it from yourself. Silence. Adrian understood. The transaction was designed to make it appear that Adrian had moved $10 million through a fraudulent shell network. Then, when the transfer was investigated, the money would be traced back to his own reserve account. The evidence would point directly at him. Elena whispered, "They're not stealing your money." Adrian's eyes hardened. "They're building a case against me." "Yes." Martin looked terrified. "Then what happens?" Adrian stared at the papers. "The bank freezes my assets." Elena nodded. "Creditors attack." Adrian continued. "Partners leave." "Yes." "Competitors move in." "Yes." "And my enemies get everything." Elena looked at him. "Exactly." Adrian was silent. Then he laughed. One quiet sound. Elena frowned. "What's funny?" Adrian looked at her. "They spent months building this." And they made one mistake." "What?" Adrian pointed at her. "They didn't know you existed." Elena stared.
The room fell silent. Adrian smiled. This time, it was real. You were the mistake they didn't plan for. Elena's heart beat faster. She looked down. Then use me. Adrian's smile disappeared. What? Use me? No. You said they don't know what I told you. Exactly. Then let them think I'm still working at the bank. Adrian stared. Elena, let me go back. No. If I go back, they'll think everything is normal. No. Adrian. No. She stepped closer. You need to find my mother. I will. And you need to find Martin's daughter. I will. Then let me help. Adrian's expression hardened. I won't use you as bait. I'm already bait. No. You said so yourself. I said you're protected. You can't protect me forever. Adrian stepped closer. Watch me. The words struck her. Elena stared. Adrian's voice softened. I will not put you in danger. Then why did you bring me here? Because you're already in danger. That's not an answer. It is the only answer I have.
Elena looked away. Then her phone vibrated. Another message. This time there was a photograph. Her mother. Alive. Sitting in a chair. Elena gasped. Adrian took the phone. The message contained one sentence. Bring the cashier back to the bank. Alone. Elena looked at Adrian. Now you understand. Adrian's jaw tightened. They want me to send you. Yes. No. Adrian. No. They have my mother. We'll find her. They have her because of me. No. Because of what I know. Adrian looked at her. Then they made a mistake. What mistake? Thinking I would trade you. Elena's heart stopped. What? Adrian looked at her. I won't. She stared. My mother. We'll find her. Adrian. Elena. He stepped closer. Listen to me. She did. Your mother is alive. You don't know that. I have people searching. That's not proof. No. His eyes held hers. But I promise you this. He paused. I will bring her home. Elena's eyes filled with tears. Why? Adrian's voice was quiet. Because you asked me to. She looked away. That's not enough. It is for me. Silence. Then Elena whispered, You're dangerous. Yes. People are afraid of you. Yes. You've probably hurt people. Adrian's face became still. Yes. She looked at him. Then why do I feel safer with you than I ever did at the bank? Adrian did not answer. Elena's eyes met his. Neither moved. Then Adrian raised his hand. He stopped before touching her, a question without words. Elena did not step away. His fingers touched her cheek. Very gently. She closed her eyes. For 1 second, the world disappeared. Then Adrian pulled away. Get some sleep. She opened her eyes. That's it? That's it. You are impossible. I've been told. He walked away. Elena watched him go. Then she smiled despite herself. It lasted 3 seconds. Her phone rang. A different number. She answered. A man's voice whispered, Elena. Who is this? Your mother is alive. Elena froze. Where is she? Bring the documents.
What documents? The ones you found. I don't have them. Adrian does. Elena's heart stopped. The man continued. Bring them to the old bank. What old bank? The one your father worked for. Elena went cold. Her father's bank. The place where he had worked before he died. The voice whispered, Come alone. The call ended. Elena stood still. Adrian was gone. She looked toward the hallway, then toward the locked doors. Her father had been dead for 14 years, and now someone was using his old workplace to reach her. She knew one thing. This was not about the 10 million anymore. This was personal. She found Adrian in the study. He was reading. Adrian! He looked up. Her face made him stand. What happened? Elena closed the door. Someone called. Adrian's expression changed. What did they say? That my mother is alive. Who? I don't know. What did they want? The documents. What documents? The ones I found. Adrian stared. Where? The old bank. He froze.
Which bank? My father's. Adrian walked toward her. Your father worked at a bank? Yes. Which one? She told him. Adrian's face changed. Elena saw it. You know it? Yes. How? Adrian was silent. Adrian? He looked at her. That bank was involved in one of my father's first deals. Elena's breath caught. Your father? Adrian nodded. My father. What kind of deal? One that ended badly. How? Adrian's eyes darkened. He was betrayed. Elena stared. By whom? Adrian did not answer. Adrian? He looked at her. Your father. Elena froze. My father betrayed your father? No. Adrian's voice was quiet. He was accused of it. Elena felt the room spin. What does that mean? Your father was blamed for losing money. How much? Adrian looked at her. $10 million. The silence was absolute. Elena stepped backward. No. Elena. No. My father died believing your father stole from him. My father didn't steal. I know. She stared. How? Adrian's expression became hard. Because I found the records. Elena's heart stopped. What records? The original transaction. Where? Adrian looked toward the locked cabinet. Here. He opened it. Inside was an old file, yellowed papers, a photograph, a name. Elena's father. She walked closer. Her hands shook. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't know you were his daughter. Elena picked up the photograph. Her father stood beside another man, Adrian's father. Both were young. Both were smiling. Elena's eyes filled with tears. What happened? Adrian looked at the photograph. My father trusted him. And my father? Trusted him too. Then why did everything fall apart? Adrian's jaw tightened. Someone moved $10 million. Elena stared. Through a shell company? Yes. Just like now? Yes. Her blood went cold. The same scheme. Adrian nodded. The same fingerprints. Elena looked at him. Then this isn't a new attack. No. It's revenge. Maybe. Against you? Against both of us. She stared at the old file, then at Adrian. My father didn't betray yours. No. Someone framed him. Yes. Who? Adrian's eyes hardened. We're going to find out. Elena held the file, the old bank, her father's death, the $10 million, her mother's disappearance, the shell companies, the accountant. Everything was connected. She looked at Adrian. What happens now? He stepped closer. Now you ask yourself one question. What question? Do you trust me? Elena stared. That's your question? Yes. After everything? Especially after everything. She looked down. I don't know. Good. She looked up. Adrian continued. Then don't trust me blindly. Then what? Watch me. He stepped closer. Watch what I do. Elena's heart beat faster. Why? Because tomorrow I'm going to destroy the man who betrayed me. And if you're wrong? Adrian's eyes became cold. Then I'll destroy the man who is. Elena swallowed. And me?
Adrian stared at her. What about you? If I find out you're lying to me, what happens? His face became unreadable. You won't like it. That's not an answer. Adrian stepped closer. Then I'll give you one. He leaned down. His voice was almost a whisper. If you betray me, I will let you walk away. Elena blinked. That's it? That's it. Why? Because betrayal means you never belong beside me. She felt something shift inside her. Adrian straightened. But if you stay, Elena waited. If you choose to stay, his eyes held hers, then no one touches you, she whispered. Not even you? Adrian stopped. For a second, something passed through his eyes. Then he nodded. Not even me. Elena believed him, and that frightened her more than anything. The next morning, the entire bank changed. Adrian arrived before sunrise. The boardroom was filled with lawyers, auditors, security, investigators. Every account connected to the $10 million was frozen.
Martin was removed from his position. Victor Hale was placed under investigation. Daniel Price disappeared. The bank's executives were terrified. Elena entered the building at 9. This time, nobody laughed. She walked through the lobby, the same marble floor, the same glass walls, the same people. But something was different. Everyone looked at her. She was no longer invisible. She wore one of the designer dresses, black, elegant, fitted. Her curves were not hidden, they were celebrated. Her hair was loose, Her face was calm. She walked beside Adrian. Every whisper stopped. Martin saw her. His face changed. "Elena." She stopped. Adrian looked at him. Martin swallowed. "Please." Elena turned. "Please what?" "Help me." "Your daughter?" Martin nodded. "She's still missing." Elena looked at Adrian. "We'll find her." Martin stared at her. "Why would you help me?" Elena looked at him. "Because I know what it feels like to be afraid." Martin lowered his head. Adrian watched her.
He said nothing. They entered the executive floor. Victor was waiting. He was no longer wearing his expensive suit. His tie was gone. His confidence was gone. Adrian stopped. "Victor." Victor looked at Elena, then at Adrian. "I want a deal." Adrian smiled. "You want mercy. I want protection." "From whom?" Victor's face tightened. "The people behind this." Adrian leaned closer. "Tell me who they are." "I don't know." "Then you don't get protection." Victor shook his head. "I know one name." Adrian waited. Victor looked at Elena. "The man who ordered your mother's kidnapping." Elena froze. Adrian's eyes became cold. "Name." Victor swallowed. "Jonathan Reed." Elena did not recognize it. Adrian did. His face changed. "Reed." Victor nodded. "He's been waiting years." "Why?" "Because your father ruined his plans." Elena's heart stopped. "My father?" Victor looked at her. "Your father discovered the original fraud." Adrian stepped closer. "What fraud?" Victor's eyes moved between them. "The 10 million wasn't stolen." Elena stared. "Then what was it?" Victor whispered. "An investment." Adrian's expression hardened. "Explain." "Your fathers were going to use the money to buy a company." "Which company?" Victor named it. Elena recognized the name. Her father's old records. She remembered seeing it. Adrian did too. Reed owned it. Victor nodded. "Your fathers discovered he was laundering money." Elena's breath caught. "So they tried to expose him?" "Yes." "And he framed my father?" "Yes." "Then killed him?" Victor hesitated. Elena's face changed. "Tell me." "I don't know." "Tell me." Victor looked down. "Your father was supposed to testify." Elena felt the floor disappear. "What happened?" "He never made it." Silence. "Why?" Victor looked at Adrian. "Because Reed got to him first." Adrian's fists tightened. Elena whispered, "My father was murdered." Nobody answered. She turned away. Her breathing became shallow. Adrian stepped toward her. She raised a hand. "Don't."
He stopped. Elena wiped her eyes. "My whole life," she laughed bitterly. "My whole life, I thought he died because his heart failed." Adrian said nothing. "My mother never told me." "She may not have known." Elena looked at him. "Then why did they take her?" Adrian's eyes sharpened. "Because she might." Elena froze. "What?" "Your mother may know the truth." "About my father?" "Yes." "Then we have to find her." Adrian nodded. "We will." Victor suddenly laughed. Everyone turned. He was crying. "You don't understand." Adrian stared. "Understand what?" Victor looked at Elena. "Your mother isn't the target." Elena's face went pale. "Then who is?" Victor pointed at her. "You." The room went silent. Adrian's expression changed. Victor continued. "Your father left something behind." Elena whispered. "What?" "A key." "What key?" Victor shook his head. "I don't know." Adrian grabbed him. "Where is it?" "I don't know." "Who has it?" "I don't know." Adrian slammed him against the wall.
Victor gasped. "Adrian!" Elena stepped forward. "Stop!" Adrian looked at her. She turned to Victor. "What did my father leave?" Victor coughed. "A ledger." Elena froze. "What ledger?" "The original records." "Where?" Victor looked at her. "Your father gave it to someone he trusted." "Who?" Victor's lips trembled. Your mother. Elena stopped breathing. My mother has the ledger? Victor nodded. That's why they took her. Adrian released him. Elena looked at Adrian. Then we need to find her. Yes. Now. Yes. They left the bank. The old bank became their next destination. It had been abandoned for years. Dust covered the windows. The sign had been removed. Inside, the building smelled of old paper and damp wood. Elena walked slowly. She remembered coming here as a child. Her father used to bring her on Saturdays. She remembered sitting at his desk. She remembered the sound of his voice. Numbers tell the truth, Ellie. She closed her eyes. A memory surfaced. Her father opening a drawer, putting something inside. A small metal box. Elena stopped. Wait. Adrian turned. What? I've been here. Yes. I remember something. She walked toward the old office. Adrian followed. The room was almost empty. A broken desk, a chair, dust. Elena knelt. She touched the floor, then the wall. Nothing. She looked at the desk. That drawer. Adrian helped her pull it open. Empty. Elena frowned. She reached inside. Her fingers touched something. A hidden compartment. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Elena pulled out a small metal key. Her heart stopped. Adrian stared. That's it. Elena held it. What does it open? A sound came from the hallway. They both turned. Footsteps. Adrian immediately moved in front of her. His security team raised weapons. The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then a voice. Elena. She froze. Her mother's voice. Mom? Adrian's hand closed around her arm. Stay here. No. Elena. That's my mother. The voice came again. Elena, please. She moved forward. Adrian held her back. Wait. The lights went out. Elena screamed. A gunshot shattered the silence. She ducked. Adrian pulled her behind the desk. Men rushed into the room. Security returned fire. Elena covered her head. Adrian grabbed her. Stay down. Where is my mother? Not yet. Another shot. Then silence. Adrian looked at his men. Clear. They moved. Elena stood. Mom! No answer. She ran into the hallway. Adrian followed. They found a room at the end. The door was open. Inside sat an empty chair. A rope lay on the floor. And beside it was Elena's mother's scarf. Elena picked it up. Her hands shook. No. Adrian approached. She turned. She's been here. Yes. But she's gone. Yes. Why? Adrian looked at the window. Because they knew we were coming. Elena stared. Then she saw something. A small piece of paper. She picked it up. One sentence. You were never the cashier. Elena froze. Adrian read it. His face changed. What does that mean? Elena shook her head. I don't know. Adrian looked at her. Think. I am. You said your father taught you numbers. Yes. What else? Elena stared at the paper. Then she remembered. Her father had once told her something strange. If anyone ever asks you who you are, don't tell them what you do. Tell them what you see. Elena looked at Adrian. What if I'm not a cashier? Adrian's eyes narrowed. What are you? She looked at the old bank, at the ledger, at the key, at the note. I think my father trained me. For what? To find the truth. Adrian stared. Elena's heart began racing. She suddenly understood. Her entire life, the numbers, the memory, the patterns, the way her father had taught her to notice small differences. It had not been random. He had known something. He had known he might not survive. He had prepared her. Elena looked at Adrian. That's why they came after me. Yes. They don't think I found the 10 million. Adrian's eyes sharpened. They think your father left the secret with you. Elena nodded. But I don't know what it is. Adrian looked at the key. Maybe you do. She stared at him. What? Maybe you just don't remember. The words struck her. A memory, a birthday. She had been 13. Her father had given her a small notebook, black cover. Inside were numbers. She had thought it was a puzzle. She had solved it. Her father had cried. Elena suddenly gasped. The notebook. Adrian turned. What notebook? My father gave me a notebook. Where is it? I don't know. Elena. My mother kept it. Adrian's eyes changed. Then that's why they took her. Elena nodded. They want the notebook. Adrian looked at her. What's inside? I don't know. Elena. I was 13. Try. She closed her eyes. Numbers, columns, dates, names, one phrase. She whispered. The numbers were not money. Adrian stared. Then what? Elena opened her eyes. Names. Whose names? She remembered. People, executives, bankers, politicians, criminals, everyone connected to the original laundering network. Adrian's expression became deadly. Your father had a list. Elena nodded. And my father had the same list. Yes. Adrian looked toward the door. Then Reed is not trying to steal 10 million. Elena whispered. He's trying to destroy the evidence. Adrian nodded. And your mother is the last person who knows where it is. A car engine started outside. Adrian turned. Move. They ran. Outside, a black vehicle sped away. Adrian's security team chased it. Elena stood beside him. She watched the car disappear. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. A man's voice spoke. Now you understand. Elena froze. Reed? A pause. Good girl. Adrian reached for the phone. The voice continued. Your father was smarter than mine. Elena's blood ran cold. Where is my mother? Alive. Where? Safe. Let me speak to her. No. Then prove she's alive. A video arrived. Elena opened it.
Her mother was sitting in a room, alive, tired, but alive. Elena began crying. Mom. Her mother looked toward the camera. Elena. Mom. I'm sorry. It's okay. No. Her mother shook her head. It's not. Elena's tears fell. Where are you? I don't know. Who has you? Her mother looked terrified. Don't trust anyone. Elena looked at Adrian. Her mother continued. Especially the man standing beside you. Adrian went still. Elena's heart stopped. Mom? The video ended. Elena stared at the phone. Adrian said nothing. She looked at him. Why would she say that? I don't know. She knows something. Yes. Something about you. Maybe. Tell me. Adrian's expression was unreadable. I can't. Elena stepped back. You promised. I know. You promised to tell me the truth. I will. When? When I know it. That's not good enough. Adrian stepped toward her. Elena. She raised her hand. No. He stopped. For the first time, she saw uncertainty in his eyes. She hated it.
Because she felt uncertain too. Then she remembered his promise. If you betray me, I will let you walk away. She looked at him. Ask me the question. Adrian frowned. What question? The one you asked before. Do you trust me? Yes. Adrian stared. Elena swallowed. That's why I'm asking you. He said nothing. Do you trust me? The silence stretched. Then Adrian answered. More than anyone. Her heart broke open. Then tell me. Adrian looked at her. Your father didn't die because of the 10 million. Elena froze. What? He died because he knew who stole it. Who? Adrian's eyes darkened. My father. Elena stared. No. Yes. Your father? He was the one who took the money. Silence. Elena stepped backward. Then why did you say my father was innocent? Because he was. Then your father betrayed him. Yes. Why? Adrian looked away. Because Reed offered him a deal. Elena's voice shook. What deal? Power. She laughed bitterly. Of course. Adrian continued. My father wanted control of the bank. And mine? He refused. Elena closed her eyes. And then? My father framed yours. Then he killed him. Adrian said nothing. Elena looked at him. You knew? Yes. All these years? Yes. Then why didn't you tell me? Because I was trying to protect you. She laughed. From what? The truth. Elena stared. That's not protection. No. That's control. Adrian nodded. Yes. She looked at him. At least you're honest now. Yes. Elena walked away. Adrian did not stop her. She reached the car, then turned. One question. He waited. Why did you save me? Adrian looked at her. Because you saved me first. That's not enough. It is. Why? His voice was quiet. Because when everyone else in that room saw a cashier, you saw a man being robbed. Elena's eyes filled with tears. Adrian continued. You didn't see my money. You saw me. Elena looked away. Then she stepped into the car. Adrian followed. Neither spoke.
The next 3 days became a war. Adrian dismantled the financial network. Accounts were frozen. Shell companies were exposed. Executives were interrogated. Victor confessed. Martin cooperated. Daniel Price was found. He gave up the location of Reed's operation. But Margaret Morris was gone. And so was Martin's daughter. The final confrontation came at an abandoned financial center on the edge of the city. Adrian arrived with his men. Elena stayed behind. At least, that was the plan. She broke it. Because Elena had discovered something. The financial center was connected to the original transaction. The same account numbers, the same pattern, the same fingerprints. She knew where Reed would be. Not because Adrian told her, because she saw it. The money trail ended there. She entered the building alone. Reed was waiting. He was older than she expected. Elegant, calm. He smiled. Elena Morris. She stopped. Where is my mother? Safe. Where? Closer than you think. Where? Reed pointed. A door opened. Margaret walked out. Elena ran to her. Mom! They embraced. Elena cried. Her mother held her tightly. I'm sorry. It's okay. No. Margaret looked at her. Listen to me. What? Your father knew. Knew what? That they would come for you. Elena froze. Margaret pulled a small black notebook from her coat. Elena stared. The notebook? Her mother nodded. Your father gave it to me. Why? Because he knew you would understand it one day. Reed stepped closer. Enough! Adrian's voice came from behind him. Not yet. Reed turned. Adrian stood in the doorway. Security surrounded the building. Reed smiled. Adrian Cross. Adrian looked at him. Jonathan Reed. You look like your father. People tell me that. Do you know what he did? Yes. Reed smiled. Then you know why I'm here. Adrian's eyes moved to Elena. No. Reed looked confused. Adrian continued. I'm here because you threatened someone under my protection. Reed laughed. Her? Adrian's expression became cold. Yes. She's nothing. Elena stepped forward. No. Reed looked at her. She held up the notebook. You made one mistake. What? You thought I was invisible. Reed's smile faded. Elena opened the notebook. People who think you're invisible tell you everything. Adrian looked at her. She continued. Bankers, executives, accountants, criminals, people like you. Reed's face changed. Elena held the notebook higher. You thought this was a list of names. Reed stared. It isn't. Adrian's eyes narrowed. What is it? Elena looked at him. It's a map. Reed stepped forward. Give me that. No. Do you know what you're holding? Yes. Elena smiled. Proof. Reed's face twisted. Kill them. The lights went out.
Chaos exploded. Men moved. Adrian grabbed Elena. Down! Gunfire erupted. Elena fell behind a concrete barrier. Her mother was pulled away by security. Adrian fired back. Reed ran. Elena saw him. She saw the exit.
She saw the numbers on the wall, a financial code. She understood. Adrian! He turned. He's going to the vault. Adrian ran. Elena followed. They reached the vault. Reed stood before the door. The notebook was gone. Elena froze. Reed smiled. You should have stayed invisible. He raised a weapon. Adrian moved between them. A shot. Adrian fell. Elena screamed. Adrian! She ran to him. Blood spread across his shirt. No. Adrian grabbed her wrist. Stay back. You're hurt. I'm fine. You're bleeding. Elena. She looked at him. His eyes were still clear. Get the notebook. She turned. Reed was gone. The vault door was closing. Elena ran. She reached the control panel. Numbers. A sequence. She knew it. Her father's birthday. Then Adrian's father's birthday. Then a third number. She entered it. The vault opened. Inside was the evidence, documents, accounts, names. The original $10 million transaction, and a confession, signed by Reed. Elena stared. Adrian walked toward her. Blood still marked his shirt. You found it. She turned. You were shot. Yes. Why are you standing? Anger. She almost laughed. Then she cried. Adrian stopped. Elena, you could have died. Yes. Because of me. No. Yes. Adrian stepped closer. Because I chose you. She stared. Why? He looked at her. Because somewhere between the bank and this place, you stopped being a problem. What did I become? Adrian's expression softened. Mine. Elena's eyes narrowed. Careful. Adrian almost smiled. Not like that. Then what? He stepped closer. Someone I would die to protect. Elena's heart broke. She touched his shirt. Don't. Don't what? Say things like that. Why? Because I might believe you. Adrian looked at her. Then believe me. The words stayed between them. Elena leaned forward. Her forehead touched his. For a moment, there was no dawn, no bank, no $10 million, no enemies. Only two people who had been invisible in different ways. Then Adrian whispered, Are you staying? Elena closed her eyes. I don't know. That's fair. She opened them. But I'm not leaving yet. Adrian smiled. Good. Behind them, sirens approached. Reed was captured before he reached the road. Martin's daughter was found alive. Margaret was reunited with her family. Victor Hale was arrested. Daniel Price testified. The bank survived. The $10 million was recovered, and the evidence proved what Elena's father had spent his final years trying to reveal. The truth finally came home. But the story did not end there. 3 months later, Harrington Crown Bank held its annual shareholders meeting. The ballroom was filled. Executives, investors, bankers, reporters, people who had once laughed at Elena's dress. They sat quietly now, because Elena Morris was walking toward the stage. She was no longer wearing black because she wanted to disappear. She wore a deep emerald dress. It followed the shape of her body. Her curves were visible. Beautiful. Unapologetic. A diamond necklace rested against her skin. The necklace had been given to her by Adrian. Not as payment, not as a reward, as a symbol. She had earned her place. Adrian stood behind her. The room went silent. Martin Vale sat in the front row. Victor was gone. The board members watched. Elena reached the microphone. Adrian stepped forward. Everyone expected him to speak. Instead, he looked at Elena. "Your turn." She stared. "Mine?" "Yes." She smiled, then faced the room. 3 months ago, I was a cashier." No one moved. "I was told to stay in my place." A few people looked down. "I was told I didn't understand finance." She paused. "I was told I was invisible." The room became completely silent. Elena looked at Martin, then at the board. "Maybe I was." Her voice strengthened. "But invisible people see things." She lifted a folder. "They see the numbers everyone else ignores." She placed it on the podium. "They see the mistakes." She looked at the executives. "And sometimes they see the truth." Adrian watched her. Elena continued. "I was told that a $10 million loss would destroy this bank." She smiled. "It didn't." She looked toward Adrian. "Because someone finally listened." Adrian stepped forward. The room held its breath. He took the microphone. "Today, Harrington Crown Bank has a new chief executive officer." Whispers erupted. Elena turned. "Adrian!" He looked at her. She whispered, "You didn't tell me." "I wanted you to hear it here." The board chairman stood. "Mr. Cross, you can't simply appoint." Adrian looked at him. The man stopped. Adrian continued. "Elena Morris." The room went silent. Elena stared. Adrian turned toward the audience. "She found the fraud." He paused. "She saved $10 million. Another pause. "She exposed the people who betrayed this institution." He looked at Elena. "And she did it when no one thought she mattered." Elena's eyes filled with tears. Adrian took the diamond necklace from its box. He walked toward her. The room watched. He placed it around her neck. Then he whispered, "You were never invisible." Elena looked at him. "Then why didn't anyone see me?" Adrian smiled. "Because they weren't looking." He stepped back. "Now they are." The applause began slowly, then louder. Elena stood beneath the lights. She remembered window 4, the marble floor, the cheap black dress, the laughter, Martin's jokes, the executives, the day Adrian Cross walked into the bank. She remembered the moment she had decided to speak. One number, one mistake, one $10 million trap. Her entire life had changed because she refused to ignore a number. Adrian held out his hand. Elena looked at it, then took it. The cameras flashed. People stood. The invisible girl was gone. In her place stood a woman who had learned the truth about her father, a daughter who had brought her mother home, a woman who had saved a fortune, a woman who had earned the trust of the most dangerous man in the city, and now she was the CEO of the bank where everyone had once laughed at her. But there was one final question. Later that night, Elena stood on the balcony of Adrian's estate. The city glittered below. Adrian joined her. "You did well." She smiled. "You were there." "I was." "You looked proud." "I was." Elena turned toward him. "Can I ask you something?" "Yes." "Why did you call me your queen?" Adrian looked at her. "Because a queen doesn't need permission to take her place." Elena smiled. "And what are you?" Adrian looked toward the city. "The man who finally learned to kneel." She laughed. "You're ridiculous." "Sometimes." She leaned against the railing, then looked at him. "Do you regret it?" "Regret what?" "Trusting me." Adrian stepped closer. "Never. Even after I argued with you. Especially then. Even after I called you controlling. You were right." Elena blinked. "Did you just admit I was right?" "Don't get used to it." She laughed again. Adrian smiled. Then his expression became serious. "Elena." "Yes?" Do you remember the question I asked you? She nodded. The one about trust. Yes. You never answered it. Elena stared. I did. No. When? At the old bank, she remembered. Yes. What did you say? Elena smiled. I said I trusted you. Adrian shook his head. No. She frowned. Then what did I say? You said you would watch me. Elena smiled. That's right. Adrian stepped closer. And? And what? Do you still watch me? Elena looked into his eyes. Every day. Why? Because numbers don't lie. Adrian laughed softly. And people? Elena touched the diamond necklace. People do. She looked at him. But sometimes they change. Adrian's face softened. Do you think I changed? Elena thought about it. No. Adrian raised an eyebrow. No? You didn't change. She stepped closer. You just finally showed me who you were. Adrian looked at her. And who am I? Elena smiled. The man who walked into a bank looking for $10 million. She touched his chest. And found a cashier. Adrian smiled. Not just a cashier. No. She looked toward the city. Your queen. Adrian's eyes remained on her. Yes. Elena leaned closer. But remember something. What? I chose this. Adrian nodded. I know. I chose you. His expression changed. I know. That means if you ever try to control me, I won't. If you ever try to hide the truth, I won't. If you ever call me invisible, never. Elena smiled. Good. Adrian took her hand. They stood together. Two people connected by a $10 million mistake. A betrayal that had lasted decades. A family secret. A dangerous empire. And a love neither of them had expected. The world had laughed at Elena because of her dress. Then it laughed because she was plus size. Then it ignored her because she was a cashier.
But the people who mocked her never understood the truth. Sometimes the person standing quietly in the corner is the only one paying attention. Sometimes the person everyone ignores is the one who sees the danger first. And sometimes the person you underestimate becomes the person you cannot live without. Elena had walked into Harrington Crown Bank as an invisible girl. She left it as a queen. And Adrian Cross, the man who had once believed money could buy loyalty, finally learned something money could never purchase. Trust. Not bought, not demanded, earned. One decision at a time. One truth at a time. One impossible choice at a time. And somewhere in the city, the people who had laughed at the chubby cashier now whispered her name with respect. Elena Morris, CEO. Queen. The woman who saved $10 million. The woman who exposed a decades-old betrayal. The woman who found the truth when everyone else was too busy looking down on her. And the woman who proved that being overlooked does not mean being powerless. Sometimes it means the world has given you the perfect place to watch, to listen, to learn, and when the moment comes, to change everything. So tell me, if you had been sitting behind window 4 that morning, and you had discovered a $10 million financial trap that could destroy an entire empire, would you have spoken up? Would you have risked your job, your safety, your family? Would you have trusted the dangerous man who needed your help? Or would you have stayed silent and let the money disappear? And if you were Adrian Cross, would you have trusted the woman everyone else mocked? Would you have seen her intelligence beneath the cheap dress? Would you have protected her? Would you have given her the power to become the CEO of the very bank that once made her feel invisible? Maybe the most important question is not who has the most money. Maybe it is who notices what everyone else refuses to see. Because the next time you see someone being ignored, remember Elena Morris, the quiet person, the overlooked person, The person nobody thinks is important. You never know what they might see, and you never know what they might save.